Now, today we will discuss with the chapter problem of deficit demand and excess demand, the statement related to this chapter, and you have to see whether the statement is true or false. We have to read the following statement carefully and we have to answer whether the statement is true or false and with appropriate reasons. The first statement is that as far as Keynesian theory in the economy, full employment can never exist. Whether the statement is true or false, here the statement is false because Keynesian theory suggests that full employment can exist, but it may not always be achieved due to factors like demand deficiencies and rigidities in the labor market. Next, number two, according to Keynesian theory of employment, the state of full employment is obtained only when the economy is in equilibrium. The statement is also false because there may not be a situation of full employment at the point of equilibrium, because equilibrium simply refers to a situation when the desired level of saving, that means this implies a leakage from the circular flow of income which is equal to the desired level of investment. This investment is implying an injection to the circular flow of income. This equality may or may not coincide with the situation of full employment in the economy. Next, number three, full employment implies zero unemployment when nobody is ever unemployed in the economy. This statement is also false. Even in a state of full employment, there is always some minimum level of unemployment. It is called the natural unemployment. Next, in a situation of deflationary gap, low level of AD here means aggregate demand leads to low level of ACE is aggregate supply. The statement is true because under the deflationary gap or deficit demand, underemployment equilibrium occurs at a point where the level of AD is less than the full employment. Since AS is assumed to be perfectly elastic, it aligns itself to a low level of AD. Next is, deflationary gap can be corrected by the increasing the level of AD. Yes, this statement is true. Deflationary gap can be corrected by increasing the level of AD because it is deficiency of AD that causes deflationary gap. Because it is a deficiency of AD and this deficiency is causing deflationary gap. Next, when deflationary gap is combated, the level of employment tends to rise in the economy. Yes, the statement is true. Deflationary gap causes a fall in the level of employment, so that when deflationary gap is combated, there rise in the employment level of the economy. Next, wage spiral is a consequence of deficient demand. Yes, the statement is false. Wage spiral is a consequence of excess demand. In this situation, wage catches price and price catches wage. Output cannot increase because resources are already full employed. Next, excess demand leads to greater opportunities of employment in the economy. The statement is false. Excess demand situation when AD is greater than AS, that means the aggregate demand is greater than the aggregate supply, and corresponding to the full employment in the economy. So accordingly, there is no possibility of greater employment opportunities when there is excess demand. Next, low level of equilibrium trap is a consequence of excess demand. The statement is also false. Low level of equilibrium trap is a consequence of deficient demand. An increase in AD, next statement, an increase in AD must cause a rise in the general price level. The statement is false. An increase in AD may not cause an increase in the general price level in a situation of excess capacity in the economy.